So wave goodbye to all the friendly faces. Don't forget to smile. Leave a lasting impression. It's the last time we'll ever see them. Hello, everybody. I'm Josh. I'm going to be your studio tour guide for the next 45 minutes. We've got a lot to do, lots of stuff to share with you. But before we get started, I wanted to introduce you to my co-host. His name is Mr. Jimmy Fallon.
Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide,
Josh.
and the greatest driver.
Jonathan.
You're the best. I love it. Even though
Josh.
both me $5.
I do.
I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
Alright, my friends, let's read you the safety rules. First, if you need guest assistance or have a medical emergency, or if you drop something of value off the side of the tram, or have any sound or video issues, please reach up and grab the red emergency cord that runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as it's safe to do so. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please stay seated and keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Remember to use the red emergency cord above your head if you need any assistance. The studio is private property. If any time during the tour you drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the emergency cord and remain seated. Please no smoking of any kind. Finally, be prepared. Our tour today features loud noises, sudden tram movements, fire effects, and many water effects. You want to have your cameras out for a great photo opportunity, but keep an eye on them so they don't get wet. And finally, for your safety and those around you, please do not use selfie sticks. Alright, we got the rules out of the way. Let's start talking to you about this amazing studio. We opened our gates on March 15th, 1915. Our studio is 107 years old. Our founder's name was Carl Laemmle, and he had a dream of creating the largest film studio in the world. We started off with 150 acres, and since then we've grown to over 400 acres. You know, where you're at right now is called Universal City. We're dubbed the strangest city in the world. The only difference between our city and your city is that nobody lives here. We have our own sheriff substation, we have our own medical services, we have our own zip codes, and over here to your right-hand side, you're going to see our fire department. Everybody wave to the fire department. They can see you through the hidden cameras. Those firefighters are true superheroes every single day. Now, there are two parts to today's tour. Part number one is going to be our front lot. Our front lot is where we have our sound stages. The sound stage is a giant building with very thick padding, so thick that we can actually make the room 98% soundproof. Why would we do that? Well, we want to make sure that we can control our environment and make sure that you at home have the best sound humanly possible. Now, part two of our tour is going to be our back lot. Our back lot is where we have all of our exterior sets. So think New York City, Baltimore, London, downtown Los Angeles. We can show you all of that today. Our back lot's also going to have our attractions like King Kong 360 3D. We're going to have Jaws, the Earthquake attraction, and I'm really excited to announce that on today's tour, we're going to take you through the sets of Nope. Jordan Peele's new movie, Nope, just opened on July 22nd, and we've reconstructed the real sets for Nope, and we are going to drive through them. I'm going to hop off camera so we can start talking about the world around us. Over here, stage 11, 10, and 9. They're known as the Bel Air sound stages. This is where we're filming season 2 of our hit television show, Bel Air. Bel Air is a dramatic retelling of The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and it's executive produced by Will Smith. Now, I want to point out these giant doors that are in between the sound stages. These doors are called elephant doors because way back when, we actually had a zoo on our property, and we had to make sure that elephants could fit through our soundstage doors. Sound stages 7 and 8 were recently used for the hit TV show Hacks, starring Emmy Award-winning actress Jean Smart. Now, Hacks airs on HBO Max. Now, you may have noticed I just mentioned HBO Max, and that's not our streaming service, but all of the TV shows and movies that I will be talking about today are actually from Universal. They just happen to air on different streaming platforms. Everyone over here to your left-hand side, look at that giant parking garage. Ooh, fancy. You can park there, but there's so much more than meets the eye. You see that parking garage to your left-hand side, that was turned into a giant mountain for the Lost World Jurassic Park. Steven Spielberg did an incredible job, and look at your monitors, and this is our parking garage. We are currently passing Soundstage 14, which is our second largest soundstage. That's where they filmed the first Jurassic Park. So if you remember that scene where the kids got sneezed on by the dinosaur and the Jeep fell through the trees, all of that was shot on stage 14. Over here to your right is stage 16. That's our set for Never Have I Ever, which is it's filming its fourth and final season. The first 3 seasons are available on Netflix, and Never Have I Ever was created by Mindy Kaling from the Mindy Project. Now, we've created some of the longest running, most successful TV shows in history, and here are just a few. We are passing a statue of Ted the teddy bear. He's on your left-hand side. Ted's holding a dirty martini. It's quite dirty. It's been out there for a few years. We're pleased to announce that Ted is getting his own TV series, and this is the first week that they're filming on our lawn. So Ted, the series, is going to air on Peacock later this year. But we're glad to have Seth MacFarlane and the entire team back on our lawn, which is really exciting. Over here to your left-hand side, you're going to see our bungalows. These bungalows used to be home away from homes for all of our actors. Think Jimmy Stewart, John Wayne, Doris Day. But now we've turned all these mini apartments into production offices. Directly to your left-hand side right now is The Rock's production company. Dwayne Johnson's production company is called $7 Productions because Mr. Johnson only had $7 in his bank account when he came to Los Angeles. To your left-hand side is Mark Platt Productions. He's developing Wicked, the musical. And finally, over here to your left-hand side is the famous Alfred Hitchcock Silhouette. That's the Alfred Hitchcock office, also known as 5190. That's home to the De La Rentas Company. Over here to your left-hand side is Soundstage 25. This is home to George Lopez's new show. It's called Lopez vs. Lopez. Last week was their first week filming on our lot for the brand new season. Now, Soundstages 25 and 26 are some of our newest soundstages. The first production to use these stages happened to be Hairspray Live, starring Ariana Grande and Jennifer Hudson. Now, Soundstage 25 was recently dedicated as the Will and Grace Soundstage. Well, we are now ending the very short part of our tour for the first half, which is our front lot. Our front lot is just the sound stages. And now, welcome to part 2 of our tour, the back lot. Welcome to our metropolitan sets. We have New York, Chicago, downtown Los Angeles, Baltimore, London, you name it, we can create it with these locations. Over here to your right-hand side, you're going to see Brownstone Street. This is where we filmed the movie Changeling with Angelina Jolie. Home Alone 2, we filmed the original Annie here, and we also filmed Bruce Almighty. Now, Jim Carrey is going to be in this clip that I'm going to show you, and this Brownstone Street is actually where Jim Carrey lived. Take a look at this clip.
Raise the dog! B-E-A-U.
If you're a fan of Mindy Kaling and the Mindy Project, over here to your left-hand side is where Mindy Lahiri lived. And if you like Home Alone 2, this is where Kevin McAllister was on the roof of a New York City apartment dropping bricks on a bad guy. Alright, we're turning the corner. Welcome to Baltimore, Maryland for the hit musical Hairspray Live. Also, this is known as New York City. If you're a fan of a little show called American Ninja Warrior, this is where they create downtown Los Angeles. Over here to your right-hand side is a blue building. That blue building was used in a Britney Spears video called I Wanna Go, and we also used that for Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Speaking of Marvel, Captain America, the First Avenger, also filmed on the street. And I'll mention Batman and Robin, starring George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell. This is where Arnold Schwarzenegger stood as Mr. Freeze, and he froze the entire city of Gotham. Now you're probably a little confused. I've mentioned Warner Brothers and Disney. Well, if you have a valid credit card, you are welcome to shoot on our lawn. So anyone is welcome here. We actually had a wedding here last week, so they turned all this into a wedding reception. As we are turning the corner, everybody, we are going to talk to you about King Kong. Here is Mr. Peter Jackson.